Knon 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
We'd like to say good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host, reaching every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on Knon 89.3 FM. The voice of the people. All righty, I live, and we have Dockery. They are both producing this morning, getting everything ready, and we're ready to roll. We got a lot to talk about, I have a letter from a gentleman by the name of Mr. Al Smith, and going to talk about him, Black Hawk, and we've got some things he's reported to me, and we're going to discuss some of those, but we can't go in and do anything about talking about the life and legacy of Makeba, Mr. Man that really gave 27 years of his life in prison, walked away from a life of comfort and convenience there in South Africa, and he was a lawyer. He had been a boxer, you name it, and a man that had was given so much privilege, and the son of a tribal chief, and really had everything going, but he walked away from that comfort and convenience into a world where he saw that his people were being mistreated so severely that he would rather suffer with his people than live a life of convenience there in South Africa. Quite naturally, we're talking about Mr. Nelson Mandela, the life and legacy of Mr. Mandela, and how the people of South Africa is celebrating. They're not mourning. Some, yes, everybody's hurting because he's gone, but they are celebrating the life and legacy of a great man that gave up so much to give really what God had given him, a great calling on his life. He's a symbol to all of us. He's a symbol to everyone that has any conscience about mankind. He was a man of greatness, a man that would not sell out. They offered him opportunity after opportunity to get out of jail if he would just moderate his stance and change from his philosophical views and start speaking more for the status quo and get large sums of money for himself. He refused that. He refused it and spent 27 years in a prison there in South Africa, out on an island. And when you see how few people we have right now that's willing to give up comfort and convenience to really go forth and do something great for their people, what can I say? We have too many people that are just stone, in this day and time, stone sellouts. Before they will stand with their people, even though they know their people are being done wrong and ill-treated. Racism is still alive and well here on this planet, especially here in America, probably one of the most racist societies on the face of this earth, if not the most. They would rather enjoy this privilege for a season than to stand with their people and live with God forever. It's sad. It's sad what we got going for us. It's sad what's happening on this planet, in this life. So when we are really indebted so much worldwide, not just in South Africa, to the life and legacy of Nelson Mandela. I'd like to hear what you have to say. 972-647-1893. Love to hear what you have to say about the life and legacy of Nelson Mandela. Don't allow the media to sanitize him. They play him up now as an old man that was just sweet old man, and he had spoken up for civil rights, and they got him smiling and hugging and everybody. No, he was not like this. He was a revolutionary. He was one who fought against the system. They did not send him to prison for 27 years because he was such a little nice, sweet man. He was a man that stood for righteousness. He's a man who stood for greatness. He's a man who stood for the holiness of God, true holiness of God, to treat all mankind right. He did not just stand for one man. He stood for all mankind, and everybody was to be equal. He wanted everybody to have parity on this earth. Not the selfishness what we see now in our society out of so many who are in high power positions. When I say high power positions, I'm talking about politicians, preachers, people, business people, all of those who call the shots. They are now today is the key thing is to go along, to get along, to make sure you can have this and have that and be successful in our society. He was not concerned about that. He was concerned about the oppressed. He was concerned about those who were downtrodden. He was concerned about, even in today's society, those who would not have any type of health care, those who would not have food on their tables, those who would not have proper clothing on their backs. He was concerned about mankind, not just trying to get over himself. He was a selfless person. He was not selfish. Selfless. He looked for others to help, not looking for others to help him. Now, what do we have today? What do we have? We have so few men like this that have come through our society. We've had so few to stand up for what God would want us to do. He did what Jesus would have done. He did this. He loved his brother. How then shall men know that you are my disciples? Not by how rich you get, not by the big titles you wear, but not how many you pastor and all of these things that we count as greatness today. He said, but by the way you love one another. I wonder how many people that we deem to be great would really truly is truly great in the sight of God. I wonder, what are we doing today? What are we doing as individuals? Are we fighting to help others? There are those who will oppress you. I've heard calls on this station that tickles me. Why do you use the term fighting for your freedom? Hey, anything that you get, you're going to have to fight for. And you may not get all that you fight for. But anything you get, you're going to fight for it. You're going to have to use some type of force. Because people aren't going to give up their privilege to give you an opportunity. That's just not human nature. Our depraved nature is not going to allow this. It should be, but our depraved nature as human beings is not going to allow it. People will pretend, and we act so hypocritical. Yes, there's so much freeness and greatness in America and all of this. There is. It is the greatest nation on earth. But you have to understand, it didn't get great the way most Americans see it. It became great because you had people working those slave fields, doing sorghum, during cotton, tobacco, other crops, beaten, raped, and robbed of their human dignity. That made America great because you had to pay no wages to compete against the rest of the world. And then you gain all of this and still want to hold on to that mentality. Not all Americans, not all white Americans are like that. You do have decent white Americans, but you got other crowd that really want to hold on to the past. But them we have to beat back. We have to use force in our sense that we need to go to the polls. We need to fight those who who would dare fight us. We have to fight those who would dare take away our rights. Until we wake up and act like adults, act like godly human beings. Yet it's not a godly human being to stand back and let someone run over you. God didn't give you that type of character. He did not give us the spirit of fear. But God gave us a courageous spirit. Why don't we use our courageous spirit? Why don't we have it? Why do we use any excuse in the world to cop out and not stand for what God gave us? Why do we act the way we act? Why? Why do we not stand? Why we will not stick together? That's the question. Nelson Mandela, the life and legacy. What do you remember? We talk about Dr. King. We talk about others. But what are we doing for ourselves? And we need to wake up. We need to wake up. We need to wake up and be men and women with dignity and class, strength and power. Not always giggling and laughing, with all of these things we got going on in our society. Other folk coming around, we got to be laughing and giggling and scratching and going on, just everything. I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of us acting the way we act. It's ridiculous. Won't stand, won't stick together. Rather be second class than stand up. Rather have a second class spirit. Is it? We've adapted this spirit that have come along and really has caused us a lot of harm, or caused us a lot of trouble. And really, we talk nothing to the generation that's coming up now. They know nothing, for the most part. They know nothing. And those of you who are calling, just hang on the line. Hang on the line. For those of you who are calling, 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. And we seem to just not grasp what real men and women are all about. We don't grasp it. We don't have the fight we had. Are we tired? Or have we grown weary of standing up and being real men, real women? What is it? 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. We have a lot of things going on, in our society. But we want to talk about Nelson Mandela and others that have stood up over the years. 972-647-1893. All right, let's go to line 3 and say good morning to Concerned Citizen. All righty. Good morning. You're on Knon.
Rev Barnett, how you doing this morning?
Fine. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I want to dialogue with you for a few minutes, and I don't want you to get upset with me. I want to know why they don't have people on the pedestal before they die. When they wait after they die on several different occasions, and then they want to go and do photo ops and all this stuff here. All that man wanted was his people to be free he shouldn't have stayed in no jail for no 20-some odd years, however long he stayed. And I want to know how you feel about that. But there's some other issues that I have here locally during the political season. Now, you know, I know you a real good fan and you favor Eddie Bernice Johnson, but let's give somebody some new boots a chance. You know, like Barbara Barrett Caraway. Let her get on your show and let her talk about what she's gonna do. Because Eddie Bernice Johnson not gonna be there always.
Well,
Barack Hussein not gonna be in the White House always. They done made a big mistake. They done stopped the blocking of anything. They done stopped, filibustering. They think they're gonna be in office forever. I'm an independent voter. The Democrats have really messed up. When the Republicans get in trouble, people, poor people, so-called middle-class people, y'all better get ready. Because the Democrats have screwed up big time. They ain't going to stop filibustering. I mean, how stupid can you be?
Okay, now, let's go back. What was your first question that you asked me?
About Mandela. Why
do people get revered after they die? Because it's nothing.
Why he live now? It's okay to do it after.
No, you asked me why people aren't lifted up until after they die. That was your first question.
Right. I want them to do it.
Okay, now let me answer it. Let me answer it.
Okay.
First of all, once you did, you're harmless. Nothing you can do. Martin Luther King has been more praised in his death than he ever was when he was alive. In fact, many of the people that praise Martin Luther King, who hold parades and all this for him right now, hated him when he was alive and talked about him, made it publicly known they didn't like him. Most pulpits in America, most black churches I'm talking about, when I say pulpits, did not welcome Dr. King. He only had a few that he could speak in across America because they called him a troublemaker, an outsider. He'd come in and raise sand and go off and leave. That's what the preachers would say. He don't know what's going on in this town and all of this. So once he dies and people, he's no longer. Wait a minute, I listen to you now.
Okay, yes, sir.
When he was alive, he could be effective in what he was saying and doing, but once he's dead, he's gone. Now we can praise him and everybody, and every old person I guess you meet just about. They tell you they marched with Dr. King, didn't they?
Yes, sir. But I want
that's a lie. That's a lie. They didn't.
Did you agree with them when they did him that way? Did
I agree with him? No.
Okay. We on the same page on that.
No. I've always criticized those who said they loved Dr. King, but they didn't love him when he was living. So all of that is hypocrisy. We have to understand most people don't stand for anything. They wait for others to get out and try to make something happen. But once it happens, everybody jumps on the bandwagon. Now, your other part of your question, why does Barbara Mallory Caraway, Barbara can always come on my show. Barbara and I have been close over the years. Her brother and I have been tight for years. Can always come on my program. Yes, why do I support?
Can you invite her this morning while I'm on the phone? Can you invite her to your show right now?
Yeah, she can always come on right now. She knows it.
Okay.
Barbara knows this, and she can call in now. But let me say this. One thing you have to understand about Washington, seniority is almost everything in Washington.
I believe you, and I understand that. But
and wait a minute. I listened to you, and I heard your question. Let me answer your question. Seniority is so great that it takes years to build seniority in order for you to serve on committees. I tell you what, let me take a short break, and I'll be right back and answer your question. All right.
Don't be a Scrooge. Give the blues to the music lover on your list. KNON has the perfect CD or LP for you. Texas Blues Radio Volume 5. Texas Blues Radio Volume 5 features acoustic blues, instrumental blues, party songs, somebody done somebody wrong songs, baby got a good thing songs, six pack and devil's back songs, gumbo, jive, T-bone, and hip-shaking songs from a fine selection of great Texas blues artists. So do right by the blues and give some Texas blues this year. Texas Blues Radio Volume 5 CD is available at knon.org, Forever Young Records in Grand Prairie, and in Dallas at Bill's Records. Vinyl copies are at Forever Young Records for that vinyl fan on your list. Downloads are available at cdbaby.com. All proceeds are a gift to KNON.
If it's time to get rid of your old gas guzzler, the KNON Vehicle Donation Program can help. There's still a market for those old vehicles, and if you donate it, you're helping to support quality programming here on KNON. Just call 877-KNON-AUTO or go online to knon.org. We'll take care of everything from pickup to tax paperwork. That's 877-KNON-AUTO or online at knon.org.
All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. I'd like to say good morning. She gives some shout-outs to some people. Brother Charles Ray Softly down in Hearn, Texas, my hometown. So I'm at the school reunion. Good morning, Mr. Softly. Y'all know him. Everybody from down here know him as Grit. All righty, good morning to him. And got others that we're going to give shout-outs to during the morning. But we're going back to our caller, Mr. Concerned Citizen, for right now. And you can call me at 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Concerned Citizen, are you there? Are you there, sir? I guess he hung up. I guess he's gone. I'll answer his question. Is he there? Concerned Citizen, you there? I think he's gone. I guess he hung up. But answering your question about Congresswoman Johnson, she has a lot of pull. Can get a lot of things done. She do things that you don't hear a whole lot of publicity about, but I look at the revenues that a congressperson or any politician brings to their area to help the masses of people. If you, in certain cases, that health care bill, much of that had her input in it. She was a nurse by a profession. I look at the Dallas area rapid transit system. Much of the funding that funds this system that move people millions each year ride that system. The funding basically she got for that. It is the largest public project in America. It's the Dallas area rapid transit system that's funding and connecting one of the largest metropolitan areas in America. She's connected that. We've had some great Congress people that come from the North Texas area. Jim Wright, who gave us the DFW airport. Jim Wright did that, was responsible for that. Much of the things that went on, we had the Speaker of the House, two Speakers of the House right here in the North Texas area from Bonham. We had a Speaker of the House by the name of Sam Rayburn and Jim Wright. And these people really caused a lot of things. North Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth just did not grow because it's Dallas-Fort Worth. Because if you really look at the essence of it, why did it grow so large? We sit in the middle of nowhere. There are no major waterways here. It's one of the largest cities, and it's the largest metropolitan area in the world when it comes to growth without a major waterway. If you look at other cities, the only other cities that really matches it is Leningrad, Russia, and San Antonio, Texas, that sits in the middle of basically nowhere, no major waterways. So it take people with creative minds. It take people that know what it takes to build things when you're really handicapped without a major waterway. And they've done this in Dallas-Fort Worth. It's probably one of the thrivingest It is the most thriving area in the United States, and it wouldn't surprise me if we were to leave and come back 50, 75, 100 years from now, it would be the largest metropolitan area in the United States. It's growing in that direction, and it should be, because it's one of the few areas that always have jobs and opportunities to offer people. Yes, it has a lot of great things to offer, but we still must challenge it to do its best for all people. Now, if you can't make it here, you can't make it anywhere. But at the same time, we got to challenge that we need to develop the African American community. We need to develop our communities everywhere. You don't have to live there in order to invest in our community. We have many, many people that live all over the area. But why not invest in what was once the African American community? We're losing it because once you lose your businesses and don't have things going on in your community that you run, you lose your community. And we need economic development. We need things going on in our community that will enhance us and make us the great people that God have made us over the years. We seem to somehow divide ourselves and dislike ourselves. Why? Why can't we be like a Nelson Mandela, that we're willing to give of yourselves? And because he gave of himself, we are celebrating his life and legacy right now. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. 972-647-1893. What is it about us? We love to be entertained. We love to do things that's really, in many cases, in the long run, not going to help us. It actually hurt us. Why is it that when we see ourselves not moving forward, I know what it is to move forward and see us moving forward. We're not moving like we should right now. There are a few of us that get out there, and there are a few of us that are doing well and everything. But what about moving the masses? If the masses don't move, we're not really going anywhere. You got to move the masses of people. There's so much to be done, and with so much we need to do. Well, we have sometimes become stagnant in our thinking, stagnant in our ways of doing things, but we oftentimes just don't seem to capture the essence of really what America is all about. It's about moving forward. It's about doing things that we should do. It's about greatness. And we do have a few individuals, but what about us as a people? Moving forward, doing great things, doing what people like Mandela gave their lives to do, to give us. What about moving? 972-647-1893 is the number to call. Let's go to line 4 and say good morning to Terry. All righty. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Fine. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm blessed, hanging on.
Mm-hmm.
To me, what I see is not just economic development, which we need that tremendously. But what I see from 3 or 4 generations back, we have forgot God. We're trying to do what the other man's doing instead of listen to his voice and let him lead us to develop and prosper.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree with you 1,000%, Terry.
Yes.
I agree with you.
Yes.
Have we forgotten God?
Yes, we have. We can't.
But even do you know the community I think really has forgotten God more than just about anybody is the religious community.
Yes, definitely, sure.
The religious community has forgotten God.
Yes.
The only thing they're thinking about is their pocketbooks.
Exactly.
He is not Santa Claus.
That's right.
He loves to provide for his people, loves to do for his people, but he doesn't give us just for us to have a good time ourselves. He give us for us to give back to others.
That's right. If we acknowledge him in all our ways, he will lead us in his path of righteousness for our people, his children, to prosper.
Right. Right. Oh, I agree with you 1,000% because we don't seem. You can have what you want. You can. He gave me a Bentley. He gave me this and all of that, and it's so selfish.
Yes.
God imparts gifts in order for them to edify His kingdom.
Exactly.
Not for us to be selfish and glutton and trying to look down on others because God has been good to us. I dare people sit up and talk about, well, if God ain't blessing you, you're not anointed, you're not this and that. That is utterly ridiculous.
Exactly. What we have, little that we have, it is not for us, it's for others.
Right, it does. And God tests our means of compassion by giving to us a lot of times.
Yes.
Let us see ourselves to show how selfish we can be because we hang on to whatever He gives and try to gob up everything ourselves for ourselves. We're just like that rich man. He said, if He bless you and you got bonds, and if He bless you more, what you gonna do with it? Instead of providing to make sure others have food to eat and things like that, no, we try to build new bonds.
Exactly.
And the only man in the world that God called a fool was that rich man. He said, "This day thy soul will be required of thee."
That's right, Luke 16.
Yeah. So I mean, I agree with you 1,000%, Terry.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm glad you do. Anyway, that's the comment I wanted to make. Also God gives us what we do not deserve and what we didn't work for to see if we're going to plant that seed in others. That way they'll acknowledge Him and glorify Him, and He'll continue to bless our seed and our waters and our barns and everything.
Yeah, but see, the thing about it, God want to keep on blessing us.
Yes,
if you bless others,
right,
the others will bless you, and it just keep turning over and over, and it grows. But we're too selfish to see that.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Well, anyway, you're doing a good job. God bless you, sir.
Thank you. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. Let's go to line 1 and say good morning to Ike. All righty. Good morning, Mr. Steen. You there?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Rev Barnett.
Fine. How are you this morning?
Doing good. I just wanted to make mention of a few things since you was talking about Dallas and the greatness of Dallas, and we was talking about leadership in Dallas and the great job that Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson is doing. And I want to kind of touch on just a couple of things briefly. And one of them is, you said seniority. And the race is coming back up for Mark Beasy to run again. And I just hope everybody support him, because last time, we went with this building coalition thing, and, and like to jeopardize the man winning the race because of the people he was running against had money, and and it was
you saw selfishness and greed in that particular race, because you had people trying to deny us our second African American congressperson in this North Texas area, Dallas Fort Worth, and they were willing to go against him for others who would not be in our corner. They're not in our corner, and they knew it, we knew it, but they were willing because of their business ties, I guess, with other people and different things like that. But that just show you in the end that these other congresspeople give these people a few dollars, and they'll sell their own community out for a couple of dollars. And it's sad. It's a sad situation that we have these type of people in our community, and some of them y'all keep re-electing. Hey, Wars West, and y'all keep re-electing them, and they really show you they're not really for our community. And I don't mind calling them out. I don't have to fear any of them. Hey, and my track record is as good as theirs. Yeah.
What gets me about it is when they're running, then we hear that old sermon that we need
stick together
who look like us representing us. We need to go. We need another brother, another sister representing us, because they represent the community.
Yeah.
But when this man was running, then we had split. We was building coalition.
Yeah.
So I want to say this.
It makes no sense, and the voters taught them a lesson.
Right.
The voters taught them a lesson on what really the people wanted. Now, with the other group that the other guy that is supporting in his group, they got several congresspeople from the state of Texas. For a long time, we had only one. Then we had two. Then we had three. Now we've got 4 African Americans. And why would you support somebody who had several against our 3? We only had Al Green, Sheila Jackson Lee, and Eddie Bernice Johnson from the state of Texas. As big as this state is, you only had 3.
Well, when you talk about some things that Congresswoman Johnson did, she did take more busy to Washington during the election and promoted him.
Yeah,
that's one thing she did do.
Well, you see, there are a lot of people arguing with me about her effectiveness. But see, the thing about it, you have to know Washington and be around it and know people what's going on. That look at the dollars your congressperson or any of your politician bring to your community. See, politics and money is synonymous.
That's right.
That's what they're there for you to give you a better quality of life. All right. And if you got a congressperson or any politician that really do nothing for their community, they're not worth anything. And we have to ask ourselves, what are some of our politicians doing in office? Are they just there to be there? Are they there just to help themselves? Or why do you vote for certain people? I just wonder.
Right. I want to mention another thing that was an article in the Dallas Morning News about the federal housing here in Dallas. Dallas gets so many millions of dollars from the federal government for low-income homes and low-income projects. But now Dallas is under scrutiny for discriminating because they didn't want them downtown and they didn't want them in North Dallas.
Right.
But they're still receiving the funds, but they're not building the project. Now, this is the thing that got me about the whole thing. The newspaper in the news, unless I missed something, they only talked about Scott Gribbs and these other guys that are high-power white people that's on the city council. Never heard anything that Terrell Atkins, Dwayne Carraway, Judge Vonzell Hill Jones, Carolyn Davis. I never got their take on this discriminating that's coming through HUD. But when it came down to too many dogs in Oak Cliff, that's when you seen the black representatives speaking up. Now, we need our representatives to be more than concerned about stray dogs, which is a problem. I'm not saying the dogs are not a problem. But when it came down to discrimination, I didn't get a comment from either one of them. So, and that's my take today. I don't want to be criticizing our black leadership. I just like to...
No, I mean that's what this show is all about. You can call in, you can tell something good they've done. Tell it. Yeah. And if they haven't done anything, tell that too. If you're satisfied, tell it. If they're not satisfied, tell it.
Well, look at Highland Hills. Highland Hills needs a grocery store. But we can talk about the stray dogs, but we can't talk about developing a grocery store or putting in some city ordinance to stop the big trucks from going through Highland Hills and the prostitution that's going on at these truck stops and the drugs that's coming in. We don't want to talk about that, but we want to talk about stray dogs. Too many dogs running around in the neighborhood. Well, Rev Barnett, I'm going to go on this note. We got too much drugs and crack in our neighborhood. And I tell people all the time, we're living in a generation where crack babies are having babies.
Oh, so yes, believe me, that's true.
Has been in our neighborhood. So we don't hurry up. Now, the kids coming up now, these 5 and 6-year-old kids coming up now, and their moms and their dad was on crack. How do we think these kids?
So you're saying we got crack grandbabies now?
We got crack grandbabies. I don't mean the grandbabies are smoking crack.
No, but they giving. But they giving birth. They crack babies themselves. Now they're giving birth to babies. So we got crack grandbabies.
Yeah. But somebody on crack have a kid, that's a crack baby. When that kid have a kid, that's a crack grandbaby. So these people are dysfunctional because drugs has altered something in their reproduction system that cause birth defect, whether we can see it or not.
Yeah.
So nobody's addressing that issue. But when cheese, that was that heroin and Tylenol was an epidemic in the Hispanic community, they jumped on it.
Right. But that just show you how when a community is together, they can get things done. Look, I'm up against a break, and I thank you for your call and comment. And y'all can call and comment and have questions or whatever. 972-647-1893. And if you have something to say about Mr. Nelson Mandela, please call in and let us know. 972-647-1893. We'll be right back.
Recycle Revolution is a local recycling collection service and community drop-off center. They collect and accept all traditional recyclables, including paper, plastic, aluminum, cardboard, and glass, as well as TVs, computers, lamps, light bulbs, batteries, ballasts, and styrofoam. They offer collection services to apartments, condos, and businesses. They also offer a community drop-off located at 1703 Chestnut Street in Dallas. For more information, 214-566-3025 or recyclerevolutiondallas.com.
KNON thanks you for your pledge to our recent pledge drive. Now it is time to make your pledge count. Be sure to send it to KNON 5353 Maple Avenue, Dallas, Texas 75235. If you missed our pledge drive, you can still support community radio by donating online at knon.org. Your pledge only counts if you pay it. KNON 5353 Maple Avenue, Dallas, Texas 75235. Be sure to include the name of the show you are supporting. For questions about the pledge drive, 214-828-9500, extension 234.
All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. We each and every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. And you can call me at 972-647-1893 is the number to call. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. I'd like to thank Mr. Moore. He's up early this morning. I'm sure glad he was up. He's my neighbor, and he has a wood company. They sell wood, and he was up getting, I guess, ready to make his deliveries this morning. I guess people buying firewood or whatever. But he had to help me get my windshield cleared off and all that ice and all of that to get over. And I'd like to thank him this morning and thank God. He was up early this morning, Lord have mercy. And it's not as bad out there as you would think it is. It's not as bad, no. If you take your time, go on down the streets. Don't drive like an idiot. Just drive carefully, and it's okay. It's okay. You have to watch the bridges, overpasses, and different things like that. But you still can make it out there this morning because most of the time, most of your streets are pretty dry, except for maybe some, back up in communities and different things like the residential areas where there has not been a lot of traffic. They might be iced over, but most of your major thoroughfares they're pretty dry. But you have to watch icy patches in different places, and you can make it. So I thank you, Mr. James Moore, and I'm sure glad you was up getting ready to go deliver wood to people. So God bless you for helping me make it over here this morning. And but we're still talking about a lot of things, just a lot of things. We're still talking about Nelson Mandela, his life, his legacy, how he really helped the whole world. He gave of himself for mankind. There's so few people like this. And he did this on true Christian principles, true morals. Too many times we try to take the easy way out and say just because I'm living holy, I'm living godly, and I commit no sin about me. And we call that Christian living. My God, you only saved because Jesus lived holy and was perfect. And God substitutes his righteousness for ours. He doesn't look at our righteousness. Our righteousness is filthy rags before God. And when we see what we should be doing, helping and loving one another, Many of those who become self-righteousness and so good and so great and so holy, we fail at the true principles of Christianity. Many of us do. We fail. We don't have really true Christianity at our hearts and don't even realize it. We're walking around trying to be holier than thou, or better than, or pretending in many cases. Some people actually believe that. And you're wrong. That's not true Christianity. Christianity is love and showing compassion and doing love actively toward one another. Not going around just because you can wear long dresses or wear dark suits or whatever you want to do. That has nothing to do with true godliness. When you're true godliness, you're going to do things right. But your number one thing is you're going to have to love one another and show compassion to one another. That's one of the great principles of Christianity. 972-647-1893. And show how people care for one another. This thing Nelson Mandela did. He did this. He was a great soul, great individual. And we have so much to be thankful for, but we got so much that we squander. In the richest nation on earth, and we squander. It's sad that we can be in the richest nation on earth and can't even develop relationships. How can this be? How can we live in the richest nation on earth and we got so many women in our society that will never marry? Never marry. How could this be? It would be different if we were in maybe a poor, degraded society, or maybe are we? How can we live in a society and can't build relationships, have families like we should? What's going on in America? Why do we not have families in our community like we should? Don't and some of you disagree with me. These are family. No. Like God set them up. Why is it we can't have a lot of godly families? What is it? What's wrong? 972-647-1893. I'm coming with it. Coming with it this morning. Why is it? Why is it that our families have disintegrated? What's going on? We lay it all on men. It's not all men's fault. Some of it is women's fault. It's all of our faults. Why is it we do not have families? Why is it we don't build relationships? Why is it always seem to be every situation a hit and run situation and keep moving? What's going on? Why is it we can't develop here in this nation, the greatest nation on the face of this earth? I realize racism is there. I realize discrimination is there. I realize everything going on. I look at it and I think about it daily, all day, many times, and look at this. What's going on in our society? Why? Are you afraid to answer me? Are you afraid to attack this, approach this in a way? And I want you to approach it in a loving way. What is it going on? What's going on? We talk about being single. And I know a lot of you young ladies and older ladies and middle aged, whatever, don't like being single. Why is it we can't build relationships? Tell me what's going on. What are the solutions? Somebody out there got some good ideas. Want to hear from you. Want to hear what you have to say about this situation. Why is it that family units help develop any people? through the family unit, you can build, develop character, develop businesses, develop great churches, great communities, great people through a good, strong family unit. Is it not that we don't understand that? We don't understand what's going on? What is it about the family unit that we somehow have lost our handle on? What is it? 972-647-1893. Tell me, what is it about our family unit that we don't have, we can't handle? Are we afraid? What is it? Why is it? Is it because of unemployment? What is it? What goes on in our society that we seem to handle our situation? We don't handle our situations well, and we seem to have, I don't know, we don't have many times what it takes. What is it? It used to be so easy. What once was easy, now it seemed to be so hard. It seemed to be in such a way that we have no way of knowing what's going on, and I'm really puzzled. I'm really baffled about the family unit. I'm really baffled. What is it that we need to do to rekindle the flame on our family units? 972-647-1893. Let's go to William on line 2. Good morning, William.
Hey, Rev, how you doing?
Fine. You doing all right?
Man, thank God for a new day.
Thank God for it. Yes, sir.
I noticed you was kind of touching up on that family unity and all this old kind of stuff, you know. And I'm going to tell you something. Anytime that you turn away from the word of God, you're on the devil's turf. And the devil don't mean you no good. And this is the situation now. God, he brought us from a long way. He done been good to us. Now he's too good. Now we're going back the other way.
Well, why do you think our family units, why is it that you don't see, you know, years ago you could open the newspaper. I don't even know if they still have them columns. Let me ask the lady in the studio, do we still have those columns where they have showing these brides and everything, people getting married and the family, do they still have that? Where?
Yeah.
Where are they?
Well,
no, say it through the mic. Where do they have these columns?
Talking about wedding announcements?
Yeah.
They have them in the newspaper.
They do?
Yeah.
I don't see them anymore.
They're a big deal.
They are?
Yeah, when you get it in there.
I know. I look at the black papers. I don't see any wedding announcements hardly. Maybe every once in a while, but that used to be a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know if every city still does it. Some cities do, like bigger one. New York City does it.
Okay, why is it not big anymore?
I don't know. I think it might be just more of a status thing as opposed to celebrating someone's marriage.
Was it always a status thing?
I don't know.
What's wrong with it being a status thing?
It's supposed to be about the celebration of two people joining their lives,
but
right?
that brings about status, doesn't it?
I guess it does.
And somehow we're losing common sense thinking, really. My own personal opinion. William, what do you think?
Well, I tell you, if we just like a bunch of crawfish, you know, you jealousy leads up to hate, and hate is no good. Back in the day when I was coming up, everybody helped raise everybody's children. You see some children getting out of hand, hey, they would call it to attention. If you didn't do something to get back to the parents, they would correct these people. Mm-hmm. But now man done got so corrupt now, he don't care nothing about nobody about himself. When you don't care nothing about yourself, partner, you're in a world of shape.
But isn't that basically, now, some of that is because we come from a rural society to an urban society, and I understand that part of it. Yeah. But isn't that really a part of family disintegration? Whereas we don't care for one another, we don't care for our neighbors, we don't care about children around us, and it just seems like we somehow. Why is it we can't get together as men and women and develop families like the Bible said we should, and the way we used to do? What's wrong? What has changed in our society? Is there a satanic attack on us, or what is it?
Well, see, Rev, all of this starts at home. If you don't get the proper training, in other words, the roots, the deep roots, hey, man, that's going to follow you to the rest of your life. You know and I know, folk now is not raising their children. And anytime you don't raise your children, finally you got destruction on your hand. See, I was raised and brought up on that Brazos River down there, not too far from here in Texas. I know what you're talking about.
Where are you from?
Rosebud, Texas.
Oh yeah, I know where Rosebud is. Yeah,
I know you do. I know you do.
Yeah,
many times down that Brazos Bottom River, cotton so high you couldn't even see over it.
That's right.
Hey, but that was some morals back during that time, and them old folks stood by those morals. And if that's not brought up today, partner, you just gonna keep on straying away. Well, this is some of the situation that we have now.
William, how did we lose that so easily?
Well, I tell you, partner, a lot of it's preacher. It's from these drugs that white folk done put out here, and I was young youth. They don't want to work. They don't want to go to school. And once they get a record out there, you can't find no job. And then, hey, it's nothing left there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, I tell you what, I'm up against a short break, and we're going to be talking about relationships coming up in the second hour. All righty?
Okay, Rev, you and your family have a blessed Merry Christmas now.
Y'all you do the same thing. Tell you what, we're going to take a short break. We're going into our second hour. We're going to be talking about relationships and the life and legacy of Nelson Mandela. We'll be right back.
You are listening to KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Ho, ho, ho. 'Tis the season of giving, so give the music lover on your list the gift of music. Coming Saturday, December 14th to the KNON Studios, it's the KNON CD Music and More Christmas Sale with nothing over $5. Most genres of music will be available, including over 500 blues CDs, plus a wide variety of rock, country, Americana, jazz, gospel, reggae, world, hip-hop, pop, eclectic, and more. There will also be discontinued KNON t-shirts, and nothing over $5. If you have any music in any medium you want to clear out of your house, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the sale. For more information on the sale or donating music to the sale, call 214-828-9500, extension 234. Once again, 214-828-9500, extension 234.
Here comes Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, and Christmas. It's a month-long season of friends and family, spiritual reflection, and time to decompress from our usual helter-skelter lives, right? Good Lord, shout the corporate bosses, are you nuts? Do you think America is some kind of Norman Rockwell fantasy land? This is the season of mass consumerism, bucko, so lift your tail end out of that lazy boy and hit the malls, pronto. And if you happen to have a job in a chain store, don't even think about taking a holiday, or you won't have a job the next day. Let us now praise the one God we all serve, Mammon. Years ago, Macy's started Black Friday as a kickoff to this holy month of frenzied commercialization. But it produced such a surge of profit that Walmart and other chains converted to the Church of Perpetual Selling. Black Friday originally began the day after Thanksgiving. Last year, though, reaching for more, the Elmer Gantries of Walmart dared to desecrate Thanksgiving itself by opening their doors to the Black Friday masses at 8 p.m. on Thursday night. This year, with Macy's, Target, Toys R Us, JCPenney, Best Buy, Kohl's, and others also pushing the Friday Shop-A-Rama into Thursday, Walmart will open at 6 p.m., intruding even deeper into Thanksgiving's family dinner hour. But Kmart says it will open at 6 a.m. on Thanksgiving morning. Yes, 6 a.m. Still, a Walmart executive says, "We thought 6 o'clock p.m. was the exact right time to win the weekend." Wow, did you ever think of Thanksgiving as something to win? But then, your spiritual devotion to Mammon probably isn't as ardent as that executive's. Meanwhile, the same guy reports that the 1 million low-wage workers who will have to staff the Thanksgiving profit grab are really excited to work that day. This is Jim Hightower saying, sure they are. Excited as in agitated.
All right, we are ready for hour number 2. And you can call us at 972-647-1893 is the number to call. We're talking about the life and legacy of Nelson Mandela and human relationships in our African-American community. Why are we not marrying in large numbers? Why are the relationships so far off in our community? Why is it there just seems to be midnight calls and move on? What's happening? You know what kind of calls they really call it. They call it a booty call. And why is it that's the thing in our community? Why is that going on rather than being married, raising families, showing human decency and dignity? What's going on in our community? It's time for somebody. It's time for somebody to address this particular phenomena that's really hurting us as much as anything else in our community. It's hurting us worse in a way than racism. This is worse. What we're doing to ourselves. When children have two parents pulling together, working together, children live better. There seems to be more of a family mode of thinking. They're more disciplined within the family structure when children have the two-parent system. What's wrong? What's going on in our community? And it's time for us, who have the airways, it's time for us to challenge you now. Stop backing down and challenge. What's going on? Why is our children, so many, being raised in single-parent homes, usually by a woman, and many times it's not the best of situations. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. Let's go to line 3 and say good morning to Patrick. All righty. Good morning, Patrick.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Hey, great. Awesome. God's good. God's awesome. Awesome God, sir.
Yes, he is.
And I want to shed some light. I could be wrong, but tell me the reason why relationships and, in the black community don't stay strong as, this generation, because of rap music. Rap music has taught them not to get married instead of call women all B's and H's, and that's the reason. If I'm wrong, and I just, that's all I know,
So you think our biggest problem is rap music is destroying our families? That whose fault is it? Who's listening to the rap that's changing? That refuses to get married? Is the male or the female or both?
Both, sir. Both.
You think it's both?
Yes, sir. In the young generation. Yes.
What is rap music teaching them?
Well, teaching how to be players, and talk about money, and that's all they talk about, and it's feeding them, and that's what they want to hear. And it's not teaching the Word of God. It's not.
Well, now, where those who should be teaching them the Word of God? What are we doing?
What y'all doing? Y'all teaching the Word of God.
But obviously, rap music is doing a better job than we are, aren't they?
I guess so, but I wouldn't say it's not a better job because it's destroying us. Sir, I hope I'm not saying nothing wrong. But, I know you get on people that say, don't say nothing wrong, and, I'm just trying to see if that's the answer, and that's what, destroying the community is rap music. Because people listen to it and get all these ideas, okay. Because rap music don't talk about marriage. It don't.
All right, why didn't the old generation fight against rap music being played in their ears and being sold to our people?
Because K104 and 97.9 beat is still going on, and nobody's stepping up to stop it. Nobody. And nobody stood up to stop it. That's all thing I know.
Mm-hmm. All right, we thank you for your call and comment. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
thank you.
972-647-1893 is the number to call. Let's go to Miyat. Alrighty. Miyat on line 1. Alrighty.
Yes, this is Ma'at.
Ma'at. Okay, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing, my brother?
Fine. You doing all right?
I am doing great, and I am listening to your program, and I enjoy the topic for the day.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I enjoy both parts of the topic, which are one Mandela, and the other one is about marriage in our home.
Right. Uh-huh.
And one of the biggest problems that I have found is that we, first of all, don't respect marriage. And that means male and female alike.
Mm-hmm. Well, tell me, why is it, where did we lose respect? That used to be such a glorious thing in our community, and I guess young ladies used to grow up thinking about, being married that day, that she's a queen that day, and she's been accepted, and somebody loves her, somebody cares enough for her to marry her, and she would be beautiful, and her bridesmaid. Young ladies used to dream about that. Now, I guess some maybe still do, but why is it that's not coming off anymore like it used to?
Well, because it goes back to selfish. You see, marriage was a giving thing. You and I both know we're the same age.
Mm-hmm.
We know that when our parents got married, there were a few divorces, but there were just a few.
Mm-hmm. Very few.
Right, very few. You didn't hear about divorces very often.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But they went into the marriage with goals in mind.
Right.
See, they had already planned for 20 and 30 years into the future.
Oh, yeah. You are so right, because they already had figured out about, in most cases, they missed it because they went over the number of kids they were going to have.
That's
and
right.
What would they be? He would work.
Right.
And many times, to make sure the family went well, the man would work 2 jobs.
That's right.
And made sure that his wife would carry out that man's wishes. If the children get out of line, if she didn't get them, she'd always say, "I'll let your daddy know." And when daddy get home, he'd take care of business.
That's right. Well,
And where did all of this go?
Well, it went away when we started looking at selfishness, and that's on both sides, male and female. We started saying, I can do bad by myself. I can make it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I can go to college, I can get a good job, and I can raise my own children.
It ain't happening.
But this
not like they thought it would. It's not happening.
Right, but the mind said that, but reality was totally different.
Mm-hmm.
But this is how that ended up.
Mm-hmm.
Then it also got to Uncle Sam became daddy. The welfare system.
Well, but see, that's a trap door to hell. He's not a good daddy at all, and he shouldn't be, because if he didn't daddy those children, that's somebody else's. That he's playing the role of somebody else, because usually within that system, there's no discipline, and it's might as well admit it. Children running wild because sometimes the parent seems to would rather baby the child because the daddy is not around rather than raise the child. To me, that's not a good system.
No, but this is what we had, and then it got worse. It's a slippery slope. The farther you went outside of the family structure, the worse it got. So that's why we're where we are today. We kept getting farther away from the family structure, and we kept looking at, you might say, a apple hanging on the string. It looks better over here.
Right.
If I can just go a little this way, if I can go a little bit more that way.
Mm-hmm.
The more we went the wrong way, which we thought we were going the right way, we got farther off track.
Well, but it's not working.
But we refuse to admit that we are wrong. If I can't admit that I did something wrong, can I change what I'm doing?
Sure, you can always change.
No, I can't change because I can't admit it. If I cannot admit that I have gone in a wrong direction, I can't change what I'm doing. You see, I have to first admit that I am wrong. I have been taught wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I am doing wrong things.
Mm-hmm.
If I cannot first admit that within myself and humble myself, I can't change because my pride will keep me.
But when I look at all the things we be talking about, coming together, community, building the community, building business, doing different things like that, hey, it ain't going to work without a family structure. It's not going to work. It takes a family structure for all of these ideas to come together. It takes a family structure.
And it takes level thinking people.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I have also found in life that there are many young men and women who think of a marriage as something like a banking system.
Wow.
I don't put very much in, but I'm looking for what all I can get out
of it. Mm-hmm. You want to get something out that you didn't put into it. And where did we get that way? Thank you for your call and comment. All righty?
Have a great day.
Thank you. All right. Thank you to the line 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. We go to line 2, and that's Reverend Spears. All right, let's.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Rev. How are you doing?
Mighty fine. How about you, sir?
Fine. Go right ahead.
We're passing through Texas now. We're heading to Louisiana, but I'm from Albuquerque, and I was just listening to your show.
Okay, great.
And I'll tell you what, it's a very interesting thing because this is where we need to get back to, and I like a lot of things that the people said and you said also concerning this issue.
Mm-hmm.
It has to get back to the family. It has to be restructured. It has to go back there. And one of the things that Satan has done is tore down the family to the point to where we have parents, this new generation of parents is saying, I don't want my children to be raised up the way I was. I'm going to let them do make their own choices. And the results are what we're seeing today is that's exactly what's happening. They're making their own choices. But along with that, in New Mexico, with an organization that I founded there called CSA, Cry Loud, Spare Not, a call to action. It's not just talk anymore. Let's do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is this, doing the National Day of Prayer, instead of that, we've implemented the National Week of Prayer, and the first topic for that day, we're having 4 speakers for each topic, and 6 days. The first day is on family and marriage.
Okay.
And that's getting back to the root of the matter.
Well, you're doing what God did. God established the family before he did the church.
Exactly. And see, the thing is, in order for the church to be able to be functional,
you got to have good families.
Got to have family.
And we don't seem to understand that. You're going to eventually end up with a church with as female household heads and her and just the children. And that does not work nearly as well as having both parents there and bringing the children, strong leadership, that you got a strong church. But where we ended up, we're going to end up with the churches that's basically going to be dependent on Uncle Sam, but what the ladies can get out of Uncle Sam, that's what they can put in church. And I'm just going to be honest. I know I'm making people mad. They're upset with me, but at the same time, I'm just going to tell the truth. Until we get the family established, we can't go anywhere.
We can't go anywhere. Just like with in New Mexico, we're really coming against this late-term abortion issue. And before you can really get to dealing with that, you got to go back to the family structure.
That's right.
Training up a child in the way they should go. Right. Not only that, you got to be examples to your children.
That's right.
The thing is, I've never seen where anything, when you put a ban on anything, where it really worked, because I'm familiar with the Prohibition era. You know, when they wanted to stop alcohol and all of that stuff, what we had, the speakeasy. They knew where to go to get the stuff.
Right.
You can't stop it. But when you get into the hearts of people, that's when the change begin to come about.
That's right. That's right.
Getting back into the hearts of the people. And this is something that we're working on in New Mexico. You're trying to get back.
Now, what you say you're from Albuquerque?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And the thing is, I'm trying.
What church do you pastor out there?
I'm a associate minister out there.
Okay.
But what I'm doing is getting a correlation of pastors throughout the city to step up.
All right.
And what we do during the National Week of Prayer, we have 6 topics. One is on, the first day is on family and marriage. The second one is on unity in the body of Christ. The third one is on the commandments of God. The fourth one is on prayer. which is the National Day of Prayer. The fifth one is on abortion issues. And the last day is on God's charge against his people, just like in Isaiah where it says, "Hear, O heaven, and give your word, for the Lord has spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me." But then he began to lay out all the things that they've done contrary to the will of God and said, "Now, I need you to get back in right standing with me."
Okay. That's fantastic. What dates are will this happen?
Say again, sir?
What dates you're talking about when all of this will be?
Oh, it's everything is centered around the National Day of Prayer. It's going to begin on the last part of April going into May.
Okay. All right. Call us at that time. Give us a call. And
I would love for you to come there and just, bring your radio station and see what's going on, because we want to send this thing across the country to make it national.
Okay, then. All righty. Just give us a call. Make sure you can stay in contact with us. All righty?
Will do.
Thank you. There goes the line, 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 3 and say, was that Brother Ron? All righty. Good morning, Brother Ron.
Good morning. How you doing today?
Fine. You doing all right this morning?
I'm doing good. I'm on my way home from work. I couldn't help but turn on the radio. I was going to turn on some music, and I heard you talking, and I heard your topic. And this is something that I've been...
go right ahead, Brother Ron. Go ahead.
Oh,
all right.
This is something that I've been working on for a long time, trying to put together. And because I was raised by a single mother, and until she died, she used to sit me down and tell me about how to structure a family if I got married. Well, I never got married, but the instructions that she gave me, I still live by. And the reason why a lot of this stuff is going on, like you say, it started, years ago with slavery, when they would split the family.
I'll tell you what, Brother Ron, I'm going to take the break now. And we just stick with that thought. You say it started with slavery. All right.
Yes, sir.
Just stick with that thought, and we'll be right back in a moment.
Don't be a Scrooge. Give the blues to the music lover on your list. KNON has the perfect CD or LP for you. Texas Blues Radio Volume 5. Texas Blues Radio Volume 5 features acoustic blues, instrumental blues, party songs, somebody done somebody wrong songs, baby got a good thing songs, six-pack and devil's back songs, gumbo, jive, T-bone, and hip-shaking songs from a fine selection of great Texas blues artists. So do right by the blues and give some Texas blues this year. Texas Blues Radio Volume 5 CD is available at knon.org. Forever Young Records in Grand Prairie, and in Dallas at Bill's Records. Vinyl copies are at Forever Young Records for that vinyl fan on your list. Downloads are available at cdbaby.com. All proceeds are a gift to KNON.
Healthcare.gov is the website where you can find out about the health insurance marketplace and the Affordable Health Care Act. It has information, tools, and checklists to help you find affordable health insurance. Healthcare.gov is the place to go to find affordable health coverage and see if you qualify for lower costs on monthly premiums. The Health Insurance Marketplace. Better options, better health. Learn more at healthcare.gov. United Labor Union's Local 100 has certified navigators available to assist in person. No phone trees, no frozen websites. Just someone to assist. For more information, 214-823-2001 or toll free 1-855-889-4325.
All right. Who do we have on? Did we have Brother on 3? All right. Let's go back to Brother Ron. All right. All right. You're back on Church Information and Open Forum. Good morning, Brother Ron. You still there? Is he? Yeah. Go right ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, it started back in slavery time when they would split the families back then. But black families had always tried to stay together. And
at the turn of the century, I'm talking about from the 1800s to the 1900s.
Okay.
Do you realize that 85% of all black children was born in wedlock?
Yeah.
By 1970, we were down to 40%.
Well, that's where the changes all started, when everybody started wanting to do their own thing. You see, and everybody wanted to do their way. I've heard people say, well, I'm not going to be hard on my kids like my mama was on me. And you see, and I heard a gentleman say that a while ago. That is a true fact.
Y'all are correct on that.
Yeah,
but why was it that I don't know. Why is it why is it we don't marry anymore?
Well, see, because most men figure it's cheaper. I was watching some on TV yesterday, and this man had twins by this woman. Now, he knew these was his twins. They looked like him, but he was studied denying them. And when they found out that he was his twins, he said, well, I don't want to marry her, but I'll take care of my twins. You see, he said it right out of his mouth. Mm-hmm. I do not want no responsibility. You see. And
where did irresponsibility come among us? We used to be so proud and so.
That's right.
We used to be we were a proud man as black men. We were proud. Where did that happen?
What happened was when, like you said, round about in the 70s, when things started changing, and people started, women started going to school, getting an education. Men was
that should have made us better.
It should have made us better, but then you had men that was abusing women, trying to make the woman. Do you remember the era when the woman was at work and the man at home with rollers in his hair and high shoes watching Search for Tomorrow? You see what I'm saying? And at the edge of night, he lost it all. You see? Some women spoil men to do this because they wanted to keep their man. That's where they made the first mistake. You can't keep a man that's not helping you do anything in the house. And number one, why would you give the man the milk and the cow too? And he ain't paying.
Now you indicting women on this one, right?
Well, I'm indicting women. Yeah, I'm indicting them because some of them just wanted a man so bad that they would just pull anybody, which was wrong. I'm not saying all women do that, but the women who are self-conscious, women of low self-esteem, when you start dressing like you have to show somebody something, then that's low self-esteem. When you dress like a proper woman or a decent woman, you'll find a proper or a decent man. But when you dress like a hoochie woman, you're going to get a hoochie man.
So she get what she advertised for.
That's what she advertised for and what she get. I'm not saying all women like that. Some women are so educated and they get good jobs and they make it. And then guys be what you call it? They think that woman is more than them, and so they feel like they don't have nothing to offer her.
So if she go east, she's going to be condemned. She go west, she's condemned.
Right. You see what I'm saying?
Where did it get that way?
Because everybody got out of church, man. My mama made us go to church every Sunday. You see what I'm saying? I was raised by a single mother, and she taught me how to be a man, taught me how to respect women. I had 5 sisters plus my mother. That's a woman. You don't want nobody.
You never did have a man around you?
No, sir.
You didn't have a grandfather, uncles, or anybody to look up to?
My grandfather had passed away.
What about uncles?
I didn't have an uncle. I only had one uncle, and I just met him. Seen him when I was 11 years old, and I just got in contact with him back here in midsummer when he was writing my mother. He didn't know my mother had already passed away.
You still turned out all right, even in that environment. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because, women is the source of our survival. When women have children and we raise them up in a decent home, our family lives on. But when we put them in a split home, our family go berserk because there's no man to teach the son how to be a man. There's no mother to teach the woman how to be a lady. Now I seen a little girl the other day with ponytails and plaits in her head. But I seen another little girl the other day, probably the same age, with extensions in her hair and tight clothes and high heels. And I bet you they were the same age. See, we're trying to grow our kids up too fast. We're trying to say, well, we don't need a man. We can raise our kids. But what are you raising if you don't teach if there's not a man in the house to teach your daughter how to be a lady as well? And not to fall for any kind of thing that falls off. Might have a worm in it or something,
Yeah.
You see, so the whole thing is that we have to go back to God and get our family straight. Women need to stop just getting anybody. Make sure he's a man of God. He's of good training. He loves his mother and his sisters, and you know how to treat them right. Because if he treat his mother and his sisters right, he got to treat you right because he was raised right. But sometimes you want somebody because they look good, they drive a nice car, and they can give you a couple of dollars on the side after y'all done made the booty call.
All right.
You see.
All right. Thank you.
That's it right there. Thank you, and God bless you.
God bless you. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 4 and say good morning to Mike. All righty. Good morning, Mike. Hello, Mike. Are you there? I guess Mike waited too long. All right, let's go back. Let's start all over again. Let's go to line 1 and say good morning to Muhammad. All righty. Good morning.
Oh, man, you're Iceman, man.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Go right ahead.
Yes, sir. This is Muhammad. Rev Barnett, how you doing, sir?
Fine. You doing all right?
Yes. I'm on the air, right?
Yes, you are. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes. I'd like to, just make a few comments. I thank the Almighty God for a very excellent conversation that's taking place here, dealing with the family structure. And as those before me said that, family is predicated upon individuals. And that the man being the first one, that the man of the house should be the man that rules and regulates and provides for the family.
The man is he's the head of the wife. The wife is the head of the children. So that puts the man the head of the house. Where did all of this change?
Okay, now now for me, I'm a native Dallas Texan and been here. I'm 68 years old. Dallas is my home. Went to Madison, went to Lincoln, went to Fantasy Harris. I've been here, and by the help and grace of God, I've seen this city change from many different influences. Very high influence people over Dallas. Many people moved in from Louisiana, moved in from Mississippi and Arkansas and other parts to come to Dallas. But my family, they were like the Hispanic people do. Every weekend, they would rotate and go to the uncle's house, to the aunt's house, to the grandmother's house. And it would be 20, 30, 40 family members that all would go.
Extended family.
Sir?
The extended family.
Extended family. And the women were together and the men were together. They wasn't drinking alcohol, smoking weed and cigarettes, and they were all hard-working people, and they were role models for us to look up to. So that helped produce me as the type of man that I am today.
Right.
And I was raised in the church. I'm a student of the Bible. I know the Bible very well, and I changed religion or level of religion, and I went into Islam. But I still see us all as one. We're still one people, and the influences of the world has changed us, and we are the target. When I say we've
allowed outside forces to change us from within.
Yes, and the forces are in every field of that's in the world, economically, education, culturally. Dress, fashion, everything is centered. And we the target of it, and we get hit right dead in the middle. And I'm not gonna get too emotional, but here's I think our root problem is that if we can't go and respect God, if the man cannot respect God in his proper role, has no respect for God, he has no respect for himself. He don't respect his wife, his family, society, or no one if you don't respect God.
That's right.
And that's why I think we slipped out. I go to the county jail every week, and it's not the KKK that got all these young African American brothers locked up there.
No.
They not up there for killing the KKK or robbing the KKK. Most of the things they doing is stupid, ignorant, small, criminal, insane, psychotic, neurotic behavior. Okay? And that's what's destroying us. Even our young girls, they think a guy with his pants hanging down below his butt lock is a man. You see, they don't know what a man is. They don't know what it is to wear a belt, suspenders, and go to work. All these Hispanic people standing on the corner
looking for work, you can't beat a black man, the average young black man to go to work. You know? So
how did we get there?
Well, brother, like we're saying, we've been put to sleep. The influences of Satan through his shrewd deception, who come in, and the first thing he had to do was destroy our respect for God.
Yeah. All right. We thank you. All right.
Yes,
thank
sir.
you for
God
that.
bless you all, and keep your good work up, Rev Barnett. I'd like to come be on your show. I can't do much in 5 or 6 minutes. I have a program I would love to share with you and our
Okay.
community.
All right, give me a call. All right, 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 2 and say good morning to Reverend Wright. Good morning, preacher.
Good morning, Pastor. How you doing this morning?
Fine. You doing all right?
Doing absolutely wonderful. Got a very, very excellent show this morning. I like that response from our men, and that's what we want to challenge people in 2014, the black people to come together, men to be men, so we can start taking back everything that the enemy has stolen from us. But I want to let you know that on Tuesday, and I'll get back in touch with you, that we're coming together with the SCLC and the NAACP, Justice Seekers Texas, and we're coming together to put together a press conference to acknowledge the homegoing of Nelson Mandela.
Okay, great.
And I decided we need to do something.
And I hope we recognize that America was for a long time was on the wrong side of justice.
Right.
They considered the ANC, which was an organization that he was a part of, as a terrorist organization. Here was a people that was fighting for their freedom from a very harsh, severe, racist regime that was really annihilating them, and they were fighting back. They were fighting for survival, and America called them a terrorist organization.
Sure did.
We need to make sure that we get this thing straight, and this man does not. They have taken him and tried to sanitize him, just like they done Dr. King.
Absolutely.
And we need to make sure the truth is told to our people where we can pass the message on. He was not always just a little old man, 90-something years old, smiling and everything. This man was a fighter, and a true fighter for freedom, a true warrior, and we need to make sure that part of his life is lifted up.
And that's absolutely the reason why Justice Seekers decided we needed to have a press column, a press release to put that out for our people and teach them history, which was not told to our people. I heard a lot of young kids want to know who is Nelson Mandela, and shame enough that we don't teach history. But I definitely want you to be there, so I'm going to let you know so you can express that and put that out there. And so this, like you said, it's not just, he wasn't treated like he was as Dr. King. After you go home, did a murder decide to recognize you when they first. They didn't care much for Nelson Mandela.
Oh, no. That's why they put him in prison. See, it was a miracle they didn't put him before a firing squad.
That's right.
Yes, but they put him in prison. They tried him for insurrection. And America, as late as Ronald Reagan, was on the side of that racist regime, that apartheid regime in South Africa. As long as Botha was in the office and everything, he was supported by America. He was supported by England. Western European nations supported apartheid. And they really supported apartheid in this country, but it was so overt and open over there, it was supported by Ronald Reagan. And so we're going to have to understand that this thing that they're trying to do now, the media is trying to push this sanitized old man on and say he was just a loving, kind old man, and he saw that he could do better by just bowing down to the regime and going along to get along. That was not Nelson Mandela, and they need to tell the truth about it.
Absolutely, he was a true fighter for freedom.
That's right.
And he prevailed by the grace of God. But another thing, I won't keep you online. I know you got, when you mentioned that about the prison situation, next year we're going to look at the people in a position that look like us that should help us that's not doing it. Pastor, we had a young man come to the office the other day who's done 20 years in prison for murder that he did commit. He was 15 years old.
Wow.
Sentenced him to 50 years. And by the grace of God, there's a white couple who saw fit to try to help this young man, and by the grace of God, they've been able to get him out, and now we're going to exonerate him. But look into those cases. But at the age of 15 years old,
he was tried as an adult.
And he was tried as an adult by one of my judges, who I'm going to talk to, and I don't want to throw him under the bus. But and you're going to be shocked to find out who he was. But
It won't shock me.
They tried him as an adult. And you know, people always say pass polygraph. There's one agency in this city that when they take a polygraph test, that's who the district attorney listens to. This young man and another young man who was accused of a murder both passed that polygraph test, and yet they were still sentenced the way they were sentenced. And the young man who actually committed the murder was killed several months later by somebody who he tried to rob. They ended up killing him.
Oh, man. You don't want to tell the judge's name?
Well, we were told that Judge Crusoe decided to try him as an adult.
All right. Hey, when these jokers do these atrocities against us, call them out.
Yeah, well, you know, I was just going to make sure that it was true before I put him throw him under the bus. I was just going to make sure that it was true.
See, one thing, if you are a public figure, if things that can be called out on you, you can call out public figure. He's a public figure. He's not a private citizen. All right.
Right.
All righty.
So, those are some of the things we're going to be doing. But, yeah, I will get with you. We're going to try to make these arrangements Tuesday at Justice Seekers. And, of course, we're getting ready for Brian Joseph Christmas in the community.
Right.
And we're going to honor great men like yourself, Dave Chaos, Knon, John Beckwood Jr., several other people on the 21st of December. We thank God for you, and I'll get in touch with you before the weekend is over with.
All right.
And we took care of that little group.
Okay, then. Thank you. Thank you, Preacher. All right, I tell you what, we're up against a short break, and you can call us at 972-647-1893. We'll be right back.
Ho, ho, ho. 'Tis the season of giving, so give the music lover on your list the gift of music. Coming Saturday, December 14th to the Knon Studios, it's the Knon CD Music and More Christmas Sale with nothing over $5. Most genres of music will be available, including over 500 blues CDs, plus a wide variety of rock, country, Americana, jazz, gospel, reggae, world, hip-hop, pop, eclectic, and more. There will also be discontinued Knon t-shirts, and nothing over $5. If you have any music in any medium you want to clear out of your house, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the sale. For more information on the sale or donating music to the sale, call 214-828-9500, extension 234. Once again, 214-828-9500, extension 234.
KNON thanks you for your pledge to our recent pledge drive. Now is the time to make your pledge count. Be sure to send it in to KNON 5353 Maple Avenue, Dallas, Texas 75235. If you missed our pledge drive, you can still support community radio by donating online at knon.org. Your pledge only counts if you pay it. KNON 5353 Maple Avenue, Dallas, Texas 75235. Be sure to include the name of the show you're supporting. For questions about the pledge drive, 214-828-9500, extension 234.
All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. All righty, 972-647-1893 is the number to call. Let's go to James on line number 3. Line 3, James. All righty. Good morning, James.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Rev Barnett. I appreciate you always, everything that's been said and going on, and the work that you do, your sacrifices.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I appreciate Nelson Mandela also. I see him as one of the prophets of these times and and what he's done as a leader. And I see you also as a prophet. He may not, you said don't put you there, but it's not you, the Lord putting you there as a leader in the metroplex of Dallas, Fort Worth, and throughout the community there. So we appreciate you as a giant of a man for what the Lord has called upon your life.
Oh, give the Lord it's never us, it's always God. See, once we here just for a little short time, then we move on. We here for a little short season, and God takes us on the way. So
it's like what God said, Jesus said to his Father, he said, Father, not my will, but thy will. And he said, I do as you sent me. And when Jesus left, he said, send I you. And he said, the works that I do shall you do, greater works. And like if people accept what's up on their lives, like many have said this morning, what you always saying, we would. Reverend Wright has accepted his, Brother Preacher, Muhammad, you and many others. And what I was going to say on the family is, we should really pay close attention to what Jim Hightower would say. He's saying some good information, and we take that and listen. Yes, sir. We can use that to help us out here when we select leaders or get involved in our school board meetings and different things.
Right.
But some of the things that would help our family come together is the Kwanzaa, 7 principles of Kwanzaa, the Million Man March. If we can bring those things back out and apply them. And Rev, before my time run out, there's a man that is named Dr. Clement Glenn. Clement Glenn, Glenn. He's a PhD, and he's from Prairie View A&M. Prairie View. And what he's done, we've done men conferences here in Palestine. Mr. Isaac Wynn and I, we traveled with him and some other great men, Brother Price from down at TSU. So what he's done is, if anybody can go to his site and look it up, www.Glenn, Clement Glenn, and what he done in this last governor race, he ran for governor. Many might not remember him, and they didn't put the spotlight on him, but he's a black man, and he's very intelligent and smart, and he's an educator of educators down there in Prairie View. His father was a minister, and his mother involved in education, and he is the little of both of them, and very intelligent man. And he did a package that I have. One day when the Lord blessed me to come back with you and get this package to you, you will be amazed at what he has in here that bring black men together, pull up your pants and everything else. And he's got the quality circle of life and the 7 circles of life. And it's very interesting and educational to our family. Just what the topic being this morning, this will cover it all. And I'll get you a package to show you what I'm talking about.
All right, make sure you do that, okay?
Yes, sir. It covers everything that everybody have said, the church role, the school role, the government role, the business role, and the community role.
All right.
Yes, I appreciate you always, and if I get a chance to make it up there to that meeting that Reverend Wright was speaking about, the SCLC and the NACP, and listen at this. Next Saturday, the commissioner here, the young commissioner in Precinct 2, invited me to a meeting that Royce West is coming here to Palestine to be a guest speaker for his campaign. And he invited me to come up and try to video it and all. And if I do, I'll share some of that with you and all.
All righty then. Okay.
Thank you so much for your sacrifice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That clears the line, 972-647-1893. All right, let's go to line 4 and say good morning to Dave. All righty? Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Reverend Barnett. How are you doing?
Fine. You doing all right?
I'm doing great. I'd just like to say thank you for all you do. And one thing I like to say is, like 2 months ago, I just relocated to Texas, and I found this radio station.
Okay, great.
I've been listening to you every morning that you're on.
All right, thank you.
And you put out some great stuff. But one of the comments I would like to make is on the, the relationships. I think that one of the problems, a lot of problems actually, that we have in relationships is that men, they have lost their self-control. They don't know how to say no anymore. And because they don't know how to say no, then they end up with kids.
Is that the man or the woman?
Both. Mainly the men. If men say no more, if they say no more and they start setting their standards, because a lot of women say, okay, this is our standards. This is what we want. Men don't do that. Most of the time, they just go along with the program. Once they start setting their standards and they stick to their word, and they tell that woman basically, hey, no more. This is not going to happen because we have consequences behind this if we are not married. That's one of the first steps. One of the other things.
Now, isn't that what the old people used to teach women?
I believe so. It's a possibility.
Is that what our generation should have taught these young women?
Yes, they should have. And also, we have to look around.
I know both should do it, but that used to be taught. But you saying it's the males? Okay, all right. I'm listening to you.
I'm not saying it's the male. I'm saying that men need to take more responsibility for themselves as far as self-control.
All right.
If you have more self-control of yourself, okay, of your body, of what you want to do with it, that does not mean that you have to go and lay and sleep with a female if you have self-control. If you say, no, hey, I'm not going to do this until I'm married, how hard is that?
Oh.
It's hard because you don't have self-control. And the same thing with the woman, but I think that the men, they are losing their position because they're not using that one word. It's very powerful. No, it's just that simple.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I thank you for your call and comment. That clears the line. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 1 and say good morning to Mike. All righty. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Reverend Barnett. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm doing real good. This is kind of, your program is greatly appreciated. It helps to get my weekend started on a good moral foundation. I really look forward to and I listen to what everybody says and jot down my notes. I tell you, I was just thinking if all the radio stations had a program like this, I think that would be a good starting point.
All right.
But I'm a Christian. I've lived in Dallas since 1957, and I've seen I'm pretty familiar with the city and kind of what's gone on here and everything for so long. I don't know a whole lot about Mandela. I'm going to have to get to the library and I think study. Do a little studying. I was listening. I jotted down a note about this single and married people. I'm unfortunately single, but you know, I have a lot of married friends, fortunately, that have brought me into maybe as an extended type member. You know, they understand that a lot of us single people would like to be married, but some of us don't. A lot of us just don't get it's not as easy. But I think
what's so hard about getting married?
I think that in our society we've marriage has become there's people. I think a lot of people are afraid to make the commitment. I've had friends. They say, "Oh, well, I don't want to get married because I don't want to get a divorce," or I'm waiting, or they're having premarital sex. And I think a lot of men aren't going to marry a woman that they've had sex with. I think that's kind of an old-fashioned idea, but I think that might be part of it.
You say he doesn't want to marry a woman he's had sex with? Well,
I think a lot. I think a lot of men are like that. I think that if they can have the sex without the marriage, I think that a lot of them fall into that trap.
In other words, they can drink the milk without buying the cow. They're not going to buy the cow, huh?
That's right. But I think that a lot of the values that we get in the media and in advertising, I think that marriage is kind of under a lot of stress or attack from. It's like it's hard. I think a lot of people see just don't know how. The guy that was talking about how our parents, you know, how it's something you have to work at, and it's you know, I think the older people realized how important it was to get married and to work towards something.
And you don't think the young people see the value in it?
There's a lot of great young people, and my married friends are actually much younger than me, and it's but I think that it comes from but these are Christian people. These are people who go to church, and who've been raised to appreciate people, that we all have something to offer. We can all learn from each other.
So, do you think the church is teaching enough marriage appreciation? Since you made that statement, that's a great statement. Do we teach enough on marriage appreciation?
Well, now there's all the church is very, very pro marriage. Of course, we go and we learn that that's the ideal relationship, of course, and that's where and those are my values as well. But there's just a lot, there's just a lot of feedback from society and television, and that's just against it. I think it's I don't know. It just seems that these young people I know that do get married, and they. I think that it's because of church. I think that it's because that they because they've just learned how to appreciate each other.
Alrighty.
But anyway, I guess I'm kind of rambling. I just wanted to basically call and let you know how important your program is to me, and how much I get from it.
All right.
And I think that it's good to hear the truth. And I think that you present it in a very good way.
All right. Thank you. We thank you for your call and comment. That goes the line 972-647-1893. Let's take William on line 3 right quick and see if we get our job line in. Good morning,
how you
William.
doing, sir?
Yes, go right ahead.
Good morning. How you doing?
Fine.
I just want to call and tell you I appreciate you too, because you're one of the few pastors that are on the radio that speak the truth and tell it like it is, and you're strictly biblical. We have so many that are compromising in order to have members in their church. And you were talking about marriage, and in a lot of churches, marriage may be mentioned, but it's not appreciated, because we got a lot of folks shacking up in the church. They still holding positions, still holding office, and it's like, and they've been that way for 5 or 10 years. My church believe, and my pastor would tell you right off, you're not coming in here, holding position. And if you are engaged, and if you're shacking, then you need to be, living in your separate place until you get married, or he won't marry you. But, the young man just said a while ago about society, and that's what's happening. Society dictate what the church folks do. It's supposed to be the other way around.
Yeah, you're right. You're
when
right.
You're not strong in when you're not strong in the Lord and the Word, then you're going to look around and say, well, society's not doing it. My friend's not doing it. They've been together 15 years. They're not married. Yeah, that's what society say, but you can't call yourself a Christian and do what society do. And the reason, like a lot of people are having these babies out of wedlock, too, I mean, I was one, and I was young and dumb, but I realized, too, as I got older, we can't keep being a fool. And some of these young women they just in competition with other women. Well, I'm the baby mama. He got 5 or 6 kids all, and then everybody competing for him. He just sitting around going to lay his seed everywhere. We got to say as women and as men, because men are responsible too, but the women need to say, you know what? My body is the temple of God. I value my body. I'm not just going to let any man or anybody come into me unless he say, Beyonce say, put a ring on it.
All righty. Thank you. Thank you for your call. All right, let's get our job line and say good morning to Mr. Greg Barber. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, Rev Barnett.
Fine. Are there any jobs out there?
There are some jobs out here this morning on our SAT job line. That's Solutions and Actions Today job line, brought to you every Saturday morning during Church Information and Open Forum here on Knon 89.3, the voice of the people. This morning on the job line, we have AZ Parts Master is looking for a warehouse and delivery driver. They're asking you to apply online at www.hiring.accolo.com. Once again, the web address is www.hiring.accolo.com. Honeywell is looking for warehouse workers. They're asking you to apply online at www.careers@honeywell.com. Once again, it's Honeywell is looking for warehouse workers. They're asking you to apply online at www.careers@honeywell.com. TPG is looking for a warehouse worker. They're asking you to apply online at www.ppg.paleo.net. Once again, that web address is www.ppg.paleo.net. Denatech is looking for a delivery driver. They're asking you to apply online at www.denatech.iapplicants.com. Once again, that web address is www.denatech.iapplicants.com. MBM is looking for a warehouse worker. They're asking you to apply online at www.2xrecruit.kenexa.com. Once again, that's MBM is looking for a warehouse worker. They're asking you to apply online at www.2xrecruit.kenexa.com. Napa is looking for a warehouse associate. They're asking you to apply online at www.genpt.com. Once again, that's Napa is looking for a warehouse associate. They're asking you to apply online at www.genpt.com. If you are a child-loving, patient, and energetic individual and would like to work in the daycare setting, the number for inquiry is 972-290-4995. Once again, if you are a child-loving, patient, and energetic individual and would like to work in a daycare setting, the number for inquiry is 972-290-4995. If you are a person affected by addiction and need assistance with your recovery efforts, or an ex-offender trying to make that transition back into mainstream society and need assistance with job searching, the number for inquiry is 214-634-2722. Once again, that number is 214-634-2722. The late, great Godfather of Soul said, "We are people, we like the birds and the bees. We'd rather die on our feet than live on our knees." In the movie, Rev Barnett, in the movie Glory, there was a line. They were getting ready to face the enemy at the fort, trying to take the fort on the beach. The captain stopped them in the middle of the beach and brought forth the flag bearer. And he said, "If this man should fall, who among you will pick up the flag and go on?" That's the point that we're at every day. We have soldiers falling on the battlefield, but nobody's...
Thank you, Greg. We're completely out of time. But I thank you greatly for the job line. Thank you. You do a great job, as always. Thank you. Got to get out, got to run. You're invited to come to Heavenly Joy Church, located at Bruton and Masters, 11 o'clock every Sunday morning. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Bye-bye.
KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people. Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.